The Pro Bowlers Tour, brought to you by Choice Hotels International, by Rust Up from Krylon. Got rust? Get tough. Rust Up. And by McCulloch. See their string trimmers at your nearby McCulloch dealer and put Mac to work.
With 10 strikes, Rick Steelsmith has defeated Brian Voss 258 to 224, and now David Traber, who has won 7 regional titles but never a big one, will be his opponent. Big ones, 12 big titles, Brian Voss, and a bigger event is going to happen this week for you and Andrea.
Yeah, we're expecting our second child Wednesday. It's supposed to be another boy, so I got 2 little pumpkins, and I just love it.
Brian, you bowled very well the first game, 224. However, Steelsmith was really sharp. Do you think he can maintain that pace for obviously 3 more games and get his first singles title?
I think so. Traditionally speaking, the guy who wins the first match seems to do well most of the telecasts, so I like his chances.
All right, we'll take a look, and Brian will stay with us for a little while and help us out.
Okay. We're not delaying Brian at all to catch his flight back to Florida. He's got plenty of time to catch it. Just to put Andrea's mind at ease, okay?
Interesting style here, Dave Traber. Very aggressive, a lot of speed. David choosing to finish on the right-hand lane. The higher finisher during the tournament always gets to choose whether he wants to start, finish first, or finish last. He decides that he wants to finish last on the hooking lane. As you see him leave a 10-pin in the first frame. Not a bad shot. This man's a good spare shooter.
3rd telecast of this year. 4th in Seattle, 3rd in the Earl Anthony event in Dublin. By the way, a pretty good right arm pitch.
Oh, thanks. I pitched when I was a kid for a couple years.
Okay. Next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the WBA World Lightweight Championship title is at stake as American Joey Gamache puts his perfect record on the line against Olympic medalist and #1 contender Chil Sung-chun of Korea. Plus, one of the most breathtaking events in sports, the Grand National Steeplechase from England. All next, following bowling, ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brian Voss, that's the first bad break that Steelsmith has gotten. And, you know, he uses a 15-pound ball, and that's not too bad on hooking lanes like these lanes, is it?
I think there's really no advantage when they're hooking. You know, Rick's got a little wrist problem, so he needs to do that, but there's no advantage when they're hooking.
When the lanes are tight, though, that 16-pound ball, the maximum, pays dividends.
We're in our second game at the IQ West PBA Open in Riverside, California. The winner of this will meet Dennis Horan from San Diego. Then it will be the tournament leader, Dave Ferraro.
Traber just blows the pins apart on this right-hand lane. Watch his style. Very simple 4-step delivery. Good concentration. Everything just in a normal position. Look at all these angles. And watch this pivot step as he drives through with a lot of ball speed. A good solid follow-through. And the match is even after 2 frames.
From Woodstock, Illinois. That's northwest of Chicago. David's 29 years old.
Brian Voss, when you have a championship pair that one lane hooks 4 or 5 boards more than the other, i.e. 46 over 45, what do? Do you move in on the lane, or you throw the ball harder, or what was your adjustment?
Well, I actually did both. I was playing the right lane about 6 boards left, and I was trying to throw it harder.
Good tip.
Strike, spare strike now for Rick Steelsmith, who defeated Brian Voss in the first game 258 to 224, and Brian is here in our announce booth with us.
Steelsmith, who was touted to be the next Marshall Holman or Mark Roth of the PBA Tour when he came out in 1988, has had shoulder problems off and on. He said he's lost his confidence. He can get that back today and fill the shoes that everybody thought he'd be in.
So the match is all even now as a result of that double by Steelsmith. Let's go 30 years down music's memory lane with Dion and the Belmonts.
She took my love, said she's not coming back. Thought my world and my sky would all turn to black. Now I see the light, I'm wise to her, 'cause I found that place for lovers who wander, yeah, whoa.
The California racing country, where first prize is ripe for the picking. It's the Fresno Open on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
That's right, next week's special time. Here in Riverside, California, after 3.5 frames, the match is all even. That can change now as David Traber has the double up, shooting in the 4th. Nice break as we go to Bo Burton.
Thank you, Chris Schenkel. Dennis Horan, you're in the 2nd position, and you're the only lefty in the championship round. Now, the righties are talking the right-hand lane, hooks 5, 6 boards more. How about the left side? Any difference?
Well, the right lane does hook a little more, but for me, it's only about a board, so it's not much of a problem. I just board right with my feet and keep the target the same, and basically the same reaction.
All right, Chris, he averaged 257 on a championship pair. Dave Traber only 216. There could be a difference.
Okay, but Brian Voss, David is zeroed in, it appears.
Well, I tell you, this is an ideal condition for Dave. He pretty much avoids the front part of the lane, and when they're hooking, that's really an advantage.
With 4 in a row as Steelsmith is back up, trailing by 20. You cut it to 10, double working, 5th frame. Well, the young man who was the first American to win Male Bowler of the Year honors by the World Bowling Writers, and it came as a result of his leading Wichita State college bowling team to national team championship and then competing successfully. All events, etc., in the FIQ tournaments.
All that international competition gives him a lot more experience, and I think he gets used to winning. The college players that he dominated, he was used to dominating. He felt like he'd do the same thing out here on the tour, and he's gaining more and more confidence with each shot.
Bill Rick now also has put together 4, and up is David Traber in his 3rd telecast of the year, 4th in Seattle, 3rd in Dublin. 6th frame. Boy, everything is going off the deck. Melissa Traber, David's wife. David explains that hobbies are important even if they are expensive.
Back home in Milwaukee, they have a bowling show, and I shot 300 on the show, and they were offering a car, and I took $10,000 instead. They offered me $10,000, and I took that money, and I always wanted a 66 Chevelle Super Sport, and took that money and a lot of time and a lot of help from Fred Olson, and I got the job done, and it's a car that I always wanted.
Incidentally, that Chevelle has a 396 in it, so it is a muscle car for David Traber. So we have a great match going here, so don't go away. Before we do, the Mission Inn, let me tell you a little bit about it. It originated as Glenwood Cottage in 1876 and evolved over time into this present-day California mission-style hotel building. Yes, thanks to the vision of